The Elgato Key Light Neo is the best monitor mounted light out easily. It's what the Key Light Mini probably should have been, but I can't hate on experimentation. And it's just a straight up, better built, and way brighter light than the Logitech Litra Glow. However, before you rush to grab this, there are two extremely important things to know. But before that, what even is this light? The Key Light Neo is a USB powered panel light. It has physical buttons and a knob to control the brightness, color temperature, and save presets. If you don't want to use the physical buttons, this can also be controlled with the Elgato Control Center app on desktop through a USB connection, or by both the desktop and mobile app while using Wi-Fi. So for the controls, you click in the knob to change from color temperature adjustment to brightness adjustment and turn the dial to go higher or lower. The buttons on the left are for saving lighting presets by holding to save a preset and then tapping to recall. Power puts the light to sleep. It comes with a very sturdy monitor mount with great adjustability. You can also use the 1/4-inch threading to mount it to a different stand if you have one. Inside the box is a 40-inch USB-C to A cable, USB 2.0. There's also a USB-A female to USB-A male extension cable that's 60 inches, also 2.0. Now we have to get into the performance of this light, and that leads into the first aspect that you need to know. The Key Light Neo has a color temperature range from between 2900 to 7000 Kelvin, just like Elgato's other lights. But here's the important part. There are 3 different maximum brightness ratings. If you use this USB-A into your computer, this maxes out at 400 lumens. If you use it USB-C into your computer, this maxes at 700 lumens. If you use this with an external power supply like a fast charger, that's how I'm using it right now, then it can get to its true maximum brightness of 1000 lumens. But here's my specific experience. If you use the included USB cable, you're never going over 400 lumens no matter what you plug it into. I have a fast charging brick, 5 volts, but it still wouldn't go over 400. So just expect to buy another cable to use this at its maximum potential. Now when it comes to what this light actually looks like at these brightness settings, in pitch black darkness, even 400 lumens is actually decent. It doesn't overpower fine lines because it's one concentrated light source, but it's viable, especially if you have some other light illuminating the background. If you have daylight coming in from a window in front of you, it just looks fantastic. Soft lighting, not too harsh on the eyes. You don't have to worry about the background being lit because of the ambient lighting helping. 700 lumens, that's USB-C in your computer. Unless you're on a laptop, you should probably just use a power brick in case you do need the max brightness. But it looks even better than 400, of course, when it's paired with some daylight. More shadows get filled in. It's way more important to have at least this much lighting when there's no light or little light coming in through the window. Now, I'm very glad 1000 lumens exists. It's probably useful if you mount it to something farther away in complete darkness. While it's going to help the most with lighting up the entire shot, it is rough to look at and it ends up concentrating certain shadows instead of filling them in just due to the size. Still, for one small light, I'm not going to complain at all. Now, I find this particular setup to look the best out of everything that I've been testing. This is 80% brightness, 5500 Kelvin, have some daylight coming in through the window. Now, the only real weakness with this is just the background. It's a little bit dark. It does a pretty good job with the fine lines. It's not too harsh to look at. So I love the performance of this overall, but if you do have another light just to make the background a little bit brighter, it can be useful. So this is the Elgato ring light. I turn this on and it'll brighten up the background a lot more. I think that that's really cool. There's also other things that you could do, like if you have like a RGB light or something like that, even if it's not that bright. So for example, just a bit of blue light back there really helps out the shot a lot. So that's the main weakness, just because this light is so small and concentrated, it's not going to really be able to fill out all the darker spots that are in the background. But overall, this has absolutely amazing performance. For the size, I have not used anything better. The second most important aspect about this light is the app connectivity. The phone and desktop control center apps are extremely inconsistent. Sometimes they detect the light, sometimes they don't. Occasionally, the light will just disconnect from the phone app and turn off for a split second. Even though it's in a power brick, it's still on, the buttons still work, it's still active in the desktop app, but phone app just disconnects, which caused it to turn off for a second. These types of conflicts are common with Elgato lights, and they're very annoying, but that's okay because not only can you control the lights with the knobs and the buttons if you need to, but because you have 2 programmable presets, what you can do is you can just turn the light on and then pick one of those 2 presets, set it to that, and then never have to mess with the knobs or dials again. You don't have to worry about it ever syncing. It's just, oh, you have one preset for like this type of lighting condition, one for this lighting condition, and then boom. So right now I've just saved this exact preset. I'm going to go over to 2. This is one that I made a lot earlier, and this is a lot warmer, a lot darker. This is, I believe, 40%. The one that I just went to, let's go to 1. There we go. So this is the lighting setting that I was using for the rest of my A roll for the most part. As for my verdict, the Keylight Neo is excellent. If you need a small, portable, high quality light for your monitor or for your laptop, this is the light to get. However, if you're a streamer at a desk, I would consider getting one of the larger lights. They're easier to look at while still being brighter just because of the larger surface area. Elgato sells the Keylight Mark II. I've seen it for about $180 recently, which is overkill in my opinion. I had the Keylight Mark I that was $200 when it first came out. So this is two Nero GL25B panel lights. I bought these for $80 each, which is less than the Keylight Neo cost, which was $90 when it first came out. Anyway, links to everything that I showed and talked about will be below.